Ladies and gentlemen, boys and the girls, welcome to Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing. My name is Zach, joined as always by Lane, the legend Kramer. Lane, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. Finally had a new figure come in here this week. So actually been sitting for a couple weeks. Last week we were going to try and go, but you and I were both under the weather kind of last Monday. So we pushed it back a week. And so here we are. We will be unboxing from the Ahsoka series, Hot Toys Marrok.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pretty interesting looking figure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So this is standard Star Wars box here. I will say hello to Memo Big Fan, who is our first one here. It looks like tonight. Thanks for joining us. I know we're going at a little bit earlier time. A little bit. We've been a little wonky with our times lately.
They
Uh,
get what they get, Lane.
yep. But there's a timing and everything we would be able to get to work. So here we have Marrok. He's in a pretty standard, cigar style box with the cigar band for Star Wars figures. This is the Ahsoka line one, obviously with kind of the blue hue and everything. We have a pretty cool looking picture of Marrok here on the front of the figure, and then here as well. Now, kind of interesting on this side, they just have it kind of extending out with his Inquisitor lightsaber. The flying lightsaber helicopters. Here we have another one. I actually like the kind of this pose with both the sabers on, lit up, and then with his little cloak on. I think that was cool. I'm not sure how I'm going to pose him with the cloak or without, because I kind of like both. But this is a nice picture of him, standard wraparound for the Ahsoka series, which I still the only character I think the blue is really worked for is actually Grand Admiral Thrawn. So here we have one of the here. Actually, guys, hold on 1 second. I will be right back.
God damn it. All right, let's get some music going.
Okay.
Oh, this is nice. Look at this.
Okay, there we go. So here we have the figure of Marrok himself posed. Obviously, we've got the map that most of the Ahsoka have worked into it. We've got in the silver lettering, Star Wars, the TMS, Marrok. I kept spelling this guy with one R for not two for a while. So that was always a kind of a mess up on my thing. I think this is nice with some of the effect and everything on it. Not the most interesting, like kind of cover art we've seen them do, but still pretty good. Now we're going to get to Marrok himself. Obviously, all that. So this guy, I have not been out of the bag. I know sometimes I like to try and get the plastic off the boots and everything, but I did not have a chance to do that before going live tonight. So as we can see, he comes with a pretty heaping helping of lightsabers. He's not going to have a ton of accessories beyond that, but let's go ahead and start getting him out of the box. Now, fortunately, this is a pretty standard release, so there isn't a ton of extra stuff I have to worry about with him, except for his cloak, which we'll take a look at. Which I don't think, if I remember seeing the because it was a while ago that this guy came out. I don't think it was supposed to be that great, but we'll see. Hot Toys, obviously, with cloaks, has kind of a mixed, at best, mixed history with cloaks or capes or anything else like that. It's supposed to drape and do other stuff. So we'll get this out first. I can say firsthand, look here already. Ooh, boy, I like the look of this guy. Alrighty. Okay. So first thing we're going to have here. So he does come up with two of his lightsabers. So there's going to be kind of the standard one we've seen with like the Grand Inquisitor and Reva, the third sister. each, two different kind of the standard mold used for the Inquisitor lightsabers. They both look very cool. A little bit different, I think. Maybe if I had a Grand Inquisitor here, the end parts here might be a little bit different with the edge of the saber hilts. But I'd have to have one of them pulled out here next to it. Now, this one I find interesting where it's kind of the folded look to them that they can have. So where you can have it, you can use either one of these. So I guess it depends. And I like that they both come with a lighted version of them.
Yeah.
They could have cheaped out and just done one. Now, admittedly, I don't ever use the lighted lightsabers, but I think that's very nice that they spend the extra buck to try and at least give us those. Now, they've got here we have the regular red lightsaber things, which you can attach to one or both sides. They're kind of looking pink, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, they always look like that. I don't like the way that they look, to be honest.
So this is an extra on his arm, an extra. So I think there's an attachment you can do it or something. It's a slightly different. Put on one of his arms to go over them. I'll take a look. I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched Ahsoka, but I know this is a switch out we can do. Now for hands, he does not. He only comes with 6 hands in total, including the 2 on him. So he does not come with a ton of hands. I know, shocking, shocking beyond belief. So we've kind of got one here, a gesture hand. Now I will admit the paints like here on the like kind of the armor piece and stuff are pretty solid with the kind of black.
Ty's saying he can't wait for the Superman talk tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
the Marrok figure is awesome though. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, and then we get that was kind of late. So you get that one gesture hand. On the opposite side, you get a fist.
Yeah,
one fist, and then you get at least they made sure to give you 2 lightsaber holding hands, whichever one you want to put it. The fingers here are reasonably flexible, so for sticking them in there. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to end up.
Toy Mafia.
I think I'm going to probably end up using this one, the lightsaber, this version, because I do like kind of the split, like folded version, so it doesn't. Because this just looks to me like a giant freaking Oreo cookie. Because whenever I look at these things out, actually, they don't look the best to me. But also that one, because I think I'm going to have him kind of in an attentive but not in combat pose. And then obviously we've got the light up box and everything that you can use with him. And then before we get him out, we do have the cloak here, which is if anybody's getting him which doesn't have him yet. Hey, Toy Mafia, how are you doing tonight? This is the cloak itself. So, this is the cloak, which I will say I do like. You kind of look there, you can see the ruffling at the end, like you can see the wear and tear on it. That is kind of nice. So that detail on it is actually pretty good. All right, so for right now, I'll stick this underneath here. Get kind of on that. We'll see how he looks like that later. Now we're going to get the figure itself out here. Okay, put him there. So for base, he comes with kind of a standard Imperial base. Now I will say on here, I think
on the base.
Yeah, I will
It's like
say
I've
that
never
one.
seen that.
Yeah, I've noticed on some Hot Toys. I know for some upcoming ones and stuff that they seem to be doing a little bit more with the bases, like just one. So it's got the thing there. It says Marrok, but look at this, guys. Yeah, this is one thing I was going to comment on. Like, look at that weathering on there. Like, it looks as like kind of battle damaged and worn down as he does. Like, it matches the figure for kind of the dust and other stuff that's supposed to be on him. I really like that actually. Although I think it's just paint application
Yeah.
for it, no sculpting or anything. But you can see though, it looks like they did a pretty decent job with like to kind of make the scratches look like they're actually like dug into the actual floor that this is showcasing. So not something major or anything, but that's something that is kind of nice to see them doing. Definitely can't complain about that. So Marrok here himself will be going actually with in my Kenobi case, because I did sell my Darth Vader and from Kenobi, because that is going towards helping pay for the Revenge of the Sith Vader. He'll be that and Return of the Jedi will be my two Vaders in the collection. Okay. Now, one thing I did here, I actually had this past weekend, I had asked Terry, who does most of the first look like shorts and stuff for Hot Toys for years, or for Sideshow for years. What he had any issues when he posed this one up, for his first look a while ago. As far as he said, to be careful with the Paultrons here, because he said, I think I'm thinking correctly with this one, because he had issues with one of them breaking off. He thinks it was this figure. He wasn't 100% certain. But anyway, so here's the back. Now this is interesting for Marrok on the back of the armor. How you attach it, the actual thing is where you have to like actually attach it. So I do find that kind of interesting, although I need to see exactly how it's supposed to plug in, like which side. But we'll do that in a minute here. So here we have
Sin in
Marrok.
the chat. Sin and Rob Barnes. What's up, guys?
So as you can
They
see,
like the base. They do
yeah,
like the
I think
base.
the base matches the figure. Obviously, there's not a ton of scratching, maybe necessarily on the armor, but you can see like just right here, look at all the dust and the grime and everything. They nailed that specific, nailed that from the show. Yeah. But I will say, I really like the helmet here, which I think was the most noticeable thing about it. Like the detail here in the helm, with the lines and the paint, and you can still see kind of they added sort of that brown to give that dusty look, like it does match up with the battle armor. Now, there is one thing you might notice with the pants here, though. Whereas the armor pieces, even on the feet, you can kind of see the dust. They have it a little bit here in the pants, like kind of that brownish paint or whatever they mixed in on that. Give it a little bit dusty, but it's not quite as defined as on the armor itself. But I really do like the armor on the figure. Like I think they did a nice job, and I like kind of how with between the armor plates here and everything. Kind of that they managed to nail with like particular padding and stuff that was on his arms. So I think that's really cool. Now, the boots here are sculpted, so no pleather.
Yeah,
that's good, which is always a good thing. So for actual movement on the character, he actually does decent for the amount of, that's about what you're going to get, but because he's got that armor plates here and on his chest, not a whole lot of back movement to him. But I have to say what I like, this guy feels like strong, but not too hefty. Okay. So one thing for this guy is going to be you can get the arms just past 90, but this is going to, you might want to be a little bit careful if you're doing it because it might dig into the arm here into the suit a little bit, but plenty of flexibility. Going this way, probably not quite as much. You can get it probably about there, but you're risking this kind of the two armor pieces running into each other here. So they could rub off, do other things to themselves over time. Hey, Mr. Musashi, how are you doing tonight? Sin, Rob Barnes. The paint on this guy is really good. The head sculpt, plenty of movement.
Holy shit! 100 packs of Pokemon 151.
Damn, that's
dude.
a lot. And I am not even a Pokemon card player. So yeah, he looks pretty good here. I have to say, they did a nice job with this guy. Like, he's a good. There's nothing like, oh my god, you got to have your Marrok with him. But let me see now. What is that for a second? Because I'm going to take a look here now to see for attaching his lightsaber. All that stuff on him. This actually has a bigger. Okay, so it's one of the half ones we can attach to his back. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we need to line this up. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So the half one here you can attach to his back. Now I will say this is the one thing is that there's a small peg that's attached to it, which I can see if you pull this off too many times, it could possibly damage it or make it over time. So you probably want to be careful when you're taking it off or reattaching it. But that's a nice thing. Now, I guess the only thing, this might be one of the only things for your kind of emergence of with this figure is just having the big stupid plug right there. Might be a little bit annoying, but obviously if you're having them facing this way, you're never going to notice it. But that's probably maybe the only thing. So, okay. So that's really easy to do. You can attach the half ones to the back. Now, let's see. For his cloak.
What did you pay for 100 packs, Mr. Musashi, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. So, okay, see, this is the plus to this figure already. They use just the stupid regular ball pack. That's always a plus to me. Okay, pull that down. There we go. Ooh, okay. How'd that look? I'll get organized here in a second.
Damn, bro, 800. That's not bad. That's actually a really good price. I think they're like $13 a pack, $10 a pack here in America. I saw some today and I was kind of blown away by the price. Damn. Are you going to open them, Mr. Musashi, or are you going to keep them? I do still have Felt Hat Pikachu, Mr. Musashi. It's so amazing.
Actually, let me do this a little bit different. Detach these for the moment. Get this stuck into the hand appropriately. So I'm having to fight here a little bit to get the
What's up,
hand.
Manny Fresh? Don't break that saber, bro.
Well, the hand's pretty flexible. Okay. There we go.
Doing pretty good, Manny. How about you, buddy? Lane, how you doing?
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. You know, it's just started the work week. I only had a 3-day work week last week. So I had obviously 4th of July off, and then with I took a PTO day because I'm under more strict instruction. Is because I apparently still have quite a bit of time that I need to use before the end. Like, I can't wait to the end of the year.
Off Sundays and Mondays.
Okay.
Manny, let me know if you want to pick up your stickers locally or I can mail them. Just let me know whatever's easier. Damn, 6:30 to 3, bro. That's some crazy hours. Okay. Hell yeah, bro. Oh, hell yeah. You're watching Superman on Sunday? Nice.
That's cool. Well, I will let you know because I did talk about a little bit about Superman on Sunday. 6 scale Cantina. Um, is overall, I like the in art one a little bit better, but like, it's one of those things where also because the Superman one is coming out so quick for Hot Toys, if you don't want to wait like a year or two to get them, I can completely understand why you might want to try and aim for the other one.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they dropped them both back to back like that.
Yeah. Well, it gives you more fodder for talk, though, so that's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I have to look into both of them. I don't really know a bunch, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Okay. So there was a little. Thanks for your patience, guys. There. Just doing a quick little posing for Marrok. 1 second, so you guys anybody doesn't get any motion sickness or anything. Sorry about no light up, but as you know, I don't really like using that stuff. So, yeah.
Nice.
Jeez. You can see them there.
Am I getting more Labubus soon? I think so. I have one coming from Eddie, and then I just opened up one the other day that I got from somebody. Oh, and if you watch the vlog, Mr. Musashi, I got a giant one. It's like 12 inches tall. It's awesome. I love it so much. In fact,
the detail on the helmet and stuff is very well, nicely done.
look at this.
You are the Labubu King.
This is the Titan, bro. I love that one so much.
Now, I will say if you guys are thinking about maybe getting this guy or if you have him on the way, for the cloak itself, there isn't any like wiring in it or anything. But I think maybe like in a pose like this, or if you're wanting to have it kind of be like a little obstructing or covering part of his armor. I really like that they did the sculpted, so no pleather whatsoever. So I'd ask you guys in chat for the recent Han Solo figure. Would you prefer that they did like they did, where obviously maybe there's a little bit more flexibility with kind of the pleather fill-in leather boots that they did for Han, or would you maybe have preferred they tried to do something more along that? Now, admittedly, this is not armor he wears, but if they had done something more like a sculpted plastic or something like that for Han's boots, would you have liked that better? I know no one's going to say like 100%, ooh, I love pleather, but do you think seeing what they did do was better for you, or would you like to maybe have seen them at least do something maybe like this, which also helps to stand out a little bit more from the older A New Hope Han, maybe for look. But Marrok, hey, he's a good figure, guys. I know he was like the first one to go on waitlist, so I don't think like practically anybody ordered him whatsoever. No, the mask does not come off Reveal's face because he was just green fart cloud. So he did show up actually to show him officially as an Inquisitor in the Tales of the Empire, the Barasafi story, where he showed up for just a cameo where he looked basically exactly like this, just not quite as dirty. So this guy will be going in with my Inquisitors from Kenobi. I think he is just such a fabulous looking figure. Like, they really did a nice job with him. The problem is he's Marrok. That probably most people don't even remember from Ahsoka because he got taken halfway through the series. I do think with him, because the Inquisitor lightsabers are so long here, I'm probably just going to display him with one of the sabers out, one of the things ignited, because this one is just so long. It just takes up so much space. Yeah, well, I can understand that, Manny. I mean, the Sith Apprentice, that one was quite expensive that I got. I still have my guy in a little bit of a pose, but his boots are very straight. Marrok, you can, the one thing, despite kind of the suit here, his legs, whatever body they're using, does not move the easiest. So I don't know about exactly too much for pose in him with that. But overall, I would give Marrok probably about a 8.5 out of 10. He's a very solid figure. It's hard for me to give him a 10 out of 10 or higher because he doesn't have a head sculpt or, and it's kind of the character a little bit. I think this guy, for being kind of, if you like an obscure bad guy kind of, or has a unique armor or look to him, I think this guy is a nice one to pick up. Kind of like Captain Enoch came out for Ahsoka. It's not going to be ever, oh my God, you need to get this guy, get the pre-order day one. Yeah. But if you like kind of what you're seeing, or it has a unique look, and maybe have I do, he's going, like I said, I've got a specific place in the collection I want him to go, and I think I'm going to go actually with something like this pose, except maybe the head turn.
Yeah.
But overall, guys, hey, Marrok, solid figure. I definitely think now. He's waitlisted everywhere, but I think he's one you probably could find on the secondary market eventually, probably for under retail. I think he could, because he was so limited. He's one maybe that could keep at least his retail value. He ain't going to be Crosshair, shooting up twice his value or anything. But he's just be a solid little figure. I think that has a chance of keeping his value. But you guys, hey, this week, tomorrow night, it's going to be Night of the Superman
giveaway. I need to do so much work.
Yeah, I was going to say that reminds me. So Collecting Weekly does have the giveaway. We talked about 75K, however long ago that was. I have to do some reminder stuff tomorrow. Yeah. But last time I remember, I think there was giveaway Mark 50 Iron Man.
A lot of stuff. We'll figure it out tomorrow. We're ending the show early today because I have to do so much work on calculating and all that stuff. Getting all the people who are in the giveaway and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys for joining us early. It's just not a figure that I think was going to take us too crazy long. So upcoming guys should have coming in the near future. I will have Captain Rex from Ahsoka, which I'm very looking forward to for the Mark 1, surprisingly, the Phase 1 armor. And I also will be getting Boss, the Clone Commando, and the 212th Airborne. So I'll have both of those. I think later this week they're supposed to charge. So I'm going to be a lighter wallet come, I think, Thursday or Friday. So we will be having some more stuff here, probably going through the summer. All right. Anyway, thank you super much for joining us, though. Make sure you're on tomorrow night, though. Regular Collecting Weekly time, regular Collecting Weekly channel. Bye.
Take care.